I think we need to start from here. INEC also came out to say that some of the ad hoc staff they would use during the election, they are not banked. That means they will get day-to-day payments. On that, the CBN had also come to, calm the nerves of INEC that they would make money available. I mean, you know that when the policy came up, the issue of the withdrawal limit was there. And of course, the scarcity of even the money by itself. We are waiting for maybe 15th of February, maybe the court to still hear the matter, since there's been another extension again to 17th of February. There's just so much complex, situation in a policy that is supposed to just be, an economic policy. But the politicization of this whole naira currency switch from the beginning is making everything look really difficult. Would the security challenges affect the scarcity of fuel as affect the election? Definitely. INEC said they have over 8,000 vehicles, over 4,000 boats that they want to use. To all of these people, they use fuel. So if the fuel is not available, how would the people be able to take sensitive and non-sensitive materials to where they are going to? In fact, maybe we need to also know that INEC would have to do a lot of logistics, which involves them spending billions of naira. The hotels, they will lock their ad hoc staff, they will pay for those people. The motorists, the drivers, the logistics handlers, all of these petty, transactions during the election are mostly paid in cash, especially those villages where maybe there's no network to do transfer, or there's no, ability to. So this situation had to be under control. I still think the election would go on as initially scheduled. I still feel INEC had consistently assured Nigerians. A lot of credit needs to go to Professor Yakub Mahmoud. He's certainly doing his job, no doubt about that. But if you look at the sequence of things, I've covered the election under the leadership of Professor Maurice Iwu, the former INEC chairman. I've covered the election under the leadership of Professor Atahiru Jega. I think the current INEC chairman had been the one that had consistently been on the face of the people. In November last year, I had the media conference where he said INEC would never postpone an election in Nigeria on the basis of logistics. So if we are holding the CBN governor to his words with the meeting he had with the INEC chairman 2 days ago, that they will make cash available for INEC, that means that part is sorted. The NNPC had also said that about 40 NNPC mega station would work on that period, just to make sure that petrol or the diesel, whatever, is available to all of these people. If that is also put in place and effectively monitored, then I think the two major obstacles that we have as against this election will have been sorted. Hopefully we can hold them to their words, and once money is available. The decision of the Supreme Court was not just a casual decision. It's actually a decision that saved this country, because at that point we are at the brink of another chaos, maybe anarchy, because we're already seeing in Edo State. So if that decision hadn't come up, that decision absolutely just a little suppressed the tension that we're all seeing. And the second one is the IPMAN's decision to overturn their agreement that they want to go on suspension of distribution of service of petrol. So those two key decisions, and both of them are related to the questions you ask. So if all of those are well handled by the relevant authorities, INEC in their hands, that means we are good to go for the election.
Meanwhile, it's always good to say we are now in a democracy. Yeah. Anywhere in the world, when you say, some countries hate others for not being in democracy. They say you are the dictatorial regime and the rest of them. Some have nothing to do with you. But since 1999, this is about how many years now?
About 24 years.
About 24 years, we've been enjoying, in quotes, uninterrupted democracy. And of course, just as you noted earlier, judiciary has done its job to ensure this level. But we are not looking at the democracy versus the politicians. It's decent for an aggrieved politician to go to court.
Yes.
It's always decent and democratic.
Yes.
Okay. But in Nigeria, we are happy. We're in democracy. Whatever faults and failures we are having, we maintain it. So we are happy for democracy. We, in the same vein, say that the kind of politicians we have in Nigeria that are operating on democracy, we are happy with them. That kind of politicians.
No, I think it will.
Yeah, sorry, because as it is now, we have found people who suddenly, we talked about technicalities earlier, who now find themselves in positions of power because they went to court and won on technical grounds and not on popular elections. So we have a good democracy, which is good, but the politicians, are they as good as democracy they are operating?
I think for me to answer this question, let's be realistic. The politicians are product of the society. They are not from another globe. So they are brothers, they are sisters, they are uncles, the people we know. So they grew up in this environment. Do you get my point?
Yes.
So they are product of this environment. So what I'm saying is that if our environment, our society, I think has been able to produce good candidates or good politician, good citizen, then I think it's a reflection. Whatever we see is purely a reflection of our society. Whether the caliber of judges we have, whether they are saying it, whether they are doing it the way they're supposed to do it, or if they are giving judgment that will make, I think, judges of other climes laugh at us, right? They are product of our society. If our politicians are not playing the game by the rules, but let me say something. Politicians are in the contest to win.
Yes.
And it's like we are playing football. We were all here. I think some of us grew up enough to know when Maradona scored that goal, hand of God. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think he escaped with that goal. But many years later, with the use of VAR, do you understand? So we knew that the man cheated the whole world. Do you know what I'm saying? That he cheated the whole world. That he didn't use the head to know the ball, but he used a hand. Do you understand? At least to get the goal. I want to use the hand to score in a football match, not handball match. If you allow him, if the referees will allow him. And that's why we have the umpire and we have the judiciary. So, my brother, you can't expect a politician that the man wants to serve you and Dokpe bought from. You know how much he has spent on campaign. You know how much he spent on election day, right? And Nigeria here, and you expect that your public servant to lose election and go home immediately and congratulate the winner and they say, well, the game continues, right? But if the environment was did not permit him at least to engage in any matter that would distort public order, yes, it's society. But you see some people will go to him that no, a guy won't take this. No, we have to protest this matter. Do you understand? So it's functional, right? If you score A3 or whatever in English, I score A3 in English, right? But if you score P7, nature for you. That is when Trump lost election in America, right? He nearly turned everything upside down, but society was there to say no to him. You have lost, and so what? Do you understand? We saw but society was still strong enough to check those excesses. So what I'm talking about is that the politicians were product of our society. They are brothers and sisters. We didn't raise them from heavens or from another clime. They were raised in Nigeria here, and almost all of us have almost same pattern of behavior and reaction to issues. But maturity comes as we go ahead. But by and large, judiciary is essentially there as a referee to detect any goal score and with hands.
Thank you very much. Okay, now, following Muyiwa's response, country is operating democracy. In fact, Nigeria is actually an emerging democracy.
Yes.
There have been an advanced democracies that don't behave like this. So, can you identify those characters of our society and the characters of our society that you think would have influenced all of us and that are now manifesting the life of the politicians, the way they conduct themselves? Why would they not behave like politicians from the advanced democracies?
The path we take now would determine the future of our generations unborn, and that means that we need to be deliberate and we need to be intentional with our parts, which is not still a perfect democracy. The India's democracy, for instance, despite the fact that they got their independence just like few years before Nigeria got ours. But going forward, you have a society where politics is seen as the means to an end. Is a quick fix. At the moment you become a kill and give life according to what they have in their heads. I mean, just that they would always say that the law does not operate on paper the way it operates in our minds. In an emerging democracy like ours, this is the longest stretch we've had without the military interruption, however they choose to call it. I think it's interruption, by the way. So we'll always have all of these bends and corners and learning process and learning curves and trials and errors and mistakes till we get to that point. But two things. One, there's a disconnect between reality when you are going into politics and the ideal political situation. As a politician anywhere around the world, you are supposed to be a public servant. You are supposed to serve the people. That means you are not supposed to come and tell the people what you want to do for them. The people that are sending you are supposed to tell you what they want you to go and do. It's just like when you employed me. You are supposed to tell me, okay, I'm employing you to come and be doing politics. You will not employ me and then I will telling you that, oh, I want to just be sitting down doing nothing. You're just sending me a message. You are paying me to work. So you're supposed to tell me what to do. You are presiding as a president, you're governing as a governor, you are legislating as a senator or as House of Reps member or House of Assembly member. So when we have the right mentality going, let me ask you, if you say you want to be a public servant, why would you go and borrow money in the bank to contest an election? Why would I win an election? And even before I got sworn in, banks are already approved. They will give me a credit card that has money on it already, in dollars, in local currencies. They will print a check on my behalf, and I don't even have account with them.
You have not applied.
I've not even been sworn in. And then you look at my salary and you look at how much these banks are offering me. So the ideal situation is that before I got into office, I have bulletproof cars, I have escorts. You can't see me. Even when I'm inside, they say I'm not at home. I was sneaking into my own community. The same people that voted for me, they will not see me. I will increase my fence, put barbed wire. In short, and that is the truth. Go and look at
least in Nigeria.
In Nigeria, that's the truth.
That's the truth.
Go and look at the budget of what a senator in Nigeria collects every quarter. Go and look at the amounts that the 109 senators and the less than 400 House of Reps members and the House of Assembly members in the 36 states collect out of our annual budget as a country on its own. So the monetization of politics in Nigeria is going to make it difficult for us to get the ideal thing that politics should be like. It's not that our democracy is different from everything around the world. We rule by the letters. There's a constitution that is backing everything we do. Decide winner takes all mentality in our own political space. That's because I feel that the moment I become a politician, the moment I become a governor, I have power. I have everything. And when they tell you that power corrupts, and absolute power corrupt, absolutely, it is the typical ideal of a Nigerian politician. Because it is very difficult for you to see a poor politician in this country, because the Nigerian politics is expensive. Even the Electoral Act that was signed last year said that the presidential candidate can have a spending budget of 5 billion. That's a lot of money. And that 5 billion, some candidate will spend it in less than a month, even before the election proper. Their visitation, all of that, the 5 billion is gone. But even the Electoral Act allows you to spend 5 billion as a presidential candidate.
Okay.
So the question we need to ask ourselves is this: how do we continue to orientate the people and make them understand that politics is not a means to siphon money, it's not a means to steal public funds? They will tell you it's the national cake. I want to eat out of it. You as a person, if you are my uncle and you become a senator, in my mind I know I'm made for life. If I'm lucky enough that you are one of my favorite uncle, you like me a lot, the moment you move to Abuja, I will relocate to Abuja with you. The cars you are not driving, I'll be driving it. The money you cannot spend, I'll be spending it. The enjoyment you cannot enjoy because there's spotlight on you, I'll be the one enjoying it. So until we continue to put it in the minds of the people that politics is about public service,
okay,
we will not get it right.
Thank you very much. Muyiwa, yes, let me quickly follow what my small boy is saying, inexperienced boy. He said towards the end of his analysis, he made reference to some very good quotation that absolute power corrupts absolutely. That is saying the intoxicating power of the intoxicating nature of power. But then that was by, I think if I'm not mistaken, by Lord Shaw, so is it Bernard Shaw? So
Yes,
said so.
yes.
Then another person, I think Lord Acton, said power does not corrupt. Power is universal. But fools, when they get to the position of power, corrupt power. So which of them fits the Nigerian politician?
Yeah, I think it's the fools that corrupts the power. Huh? I think whether we like it or not, because the reason that we were privileged, and also in this country, to have few politicians that I think after getting to office, they still maintain their sanity, they still maintain decorum, they still behave as if nothing has happened to them, though they are very few. We have few politicians in Nigeria, even after being elected, they still live among their people. We have some honorable members, I think there's some members elected that nothing has really changed in their life. Even whatever they have or they are making, I think from the National Assembly or whatever where they are serving, they make it open and available to their community. But they are very few. They are very few. They are very few. But once you have that few, that means, I think not 100% that we can say power corrupts in this setting. But unfortunately, you know, I think I begin to see, I think the way some of our people take power here with, let's look at our culture. Do you understand? Our culture of monarchy, our monarchical setting. Do you understand what I'm saying? Though we are not all making Goto crazy or Monaco crazy, no. But anybody in Nigeria looks at a king as a privileged person. We look at the prince, the kind of life they live, right? And they're reserved. People go there to pay homage to them. You reverence them. You salute them. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You give them that respect, whether they justify or not, because it's born
It's
prince.
It's up there.
It's up there. So maybe because of that mentality, once anybody gets to the position of authority, he begin to see himself as a king, begin to see himself in that form of a ruler that is, I think he has stepped up.
That must be deified.
He must be deified. Do you know what I'm saying? That's why you see a chairman of local government, when he enters a garden, he wants everybody to stand up for him. Even his fathers, the councillor want everybody to stand up for him. But as you forget that it's the public servant that he begged us to get where he was
for him. Yes.
Normally we don't beg a area, the area father to just he inherited it in the normal circumstances by birth, right? But somebody that you printed to put in office, you understand? We want you immediately he comes in that to stand
to
up
worship
for him.
him.
You understand? He wants you to address him as honorable. You understand? He wants you to give him certain respect. Do you know what I'm saying? So he looks down on you, and that's why they are able to trample on your rights for that 4 years, right? But maybe our culture allows that. You know, an American, let's be realistic ourselves. An American did not grow up to anybody as a king.
Yeah.
You are somebody in society because of what you can offer that society.
And what the society has offered you first.
First, right? If you make name by what you are able to do to humanity, your discovery, who you are, not who born you. Do you understand what I'm saying? But here, the issue of, do you know my father?
Do you know who I am?
Do you know who I am? Do you know I'm from this royal family? Do you understand? So you see people talking about that. Do you know my point? So maybe that is a monarchical setting is at its peak, right? Because you know Britons are
Still riding bicycle.
And still driving himself.
Because we are able to separate. I'm a public officer voted for. I'm not a king. I'm not a queen. Right? So people determine how long I can stay in office, not divine, whatever. But unfortunately, a politician here in Nigeria would rather see himself as a king. Do you understand?
Yes.
As Okpe said, changing statues, rebuilding his house, and gloom, make the fence higher. Even if the man does not, he didn't have his security before he elected, immediately he now go and get his own security guards. So we tell
They'll
you.
change SIM card.
But in this community, we see people like Aminu Kano. We see people like Ibrahim Musa. They were politicians. But you
They lived among them.
how many people? You see-
Ibrahim Waziri.
Ibrahim Waziri. You see with the Sandana, the first prime minister of Nigeria.
So what's his name? Okay,
Tafawa Balewa.
Balewa, yes.
You see him about local government, they sit down with commoners
On the mat.
sit down there and playing with people. To the side with no security guards. But my brother, in Nigeria, let the Mr. President wants to come to Lagos today or tomorrow and see what happened. The economy collapsed.
They shut down everywhere.
Shut down everywhere.
Even before he leaves Abuja, they shut down Lagos.
The last time sorry to say this, the last time he came here, the man was about to go into Bauchi. He would leave Bauchi to this place, right? He has not left Abuja to Bauchi when they blocked the road of Lagos.
Okay, okay. Now, looking at this way, at least Prime Minister Sunak of Great Britain became Prime Minister without buying application form.
He didn't spend 100 million or 45 million. Parliamentary system.
Okay, civil servant now, public servant in Nigeria. That has a way of influencing your recovery attitude. Because by the time you pay 100 million or 44 million or 50 million, and God in quote helping you, you get to the office, you're in the recovery process.
Certainly. It's an investment.
Because there's the return on that investment.
Of course, yes. Okay, now let's quickly come back to what we are looking at. The issue now is the tension in the land, just because of Naira redesign. I use the word just because it looks, as I said earlier,
Like a basic
just
policy.
ordinary administrative policy of government. Okay, although this particular one, it's not like the 100 Naira Jonathan change that you give it time to phase out. This was a purposefully designed change. But we are looking at 100 days. This tension, can we justify it? If the CBN said just a little over 3 trillion is outside, and half of that is outside the banking system, one reason they think it should be controlled. Now, would it have taken more than 100 days to return 3 trillion to the banks that is causing this problem? Would it have taken more than 100 days to return 3 trillion to the bank? So why are we in this difficult position?
I think the problem starts from here. Just like you said, redesigning Naira, bringing in new Naira notes into the economy is a basic administrative policy that shouldn't generate all of this chaos that is generating at the moment. But then, when you politicize a basic administrative policy in quotes, it takes a different dimension. In October last year, when the CBN governor came out with this announcement, they said they want to mop up the system. There are a lot of monies in the wrong hands. They want to make sure that kidnappers don't get huge amount of money as ransom so that they can trace wherever these monies are going to. And then they want to use it to cut vote buying. That was where they brought politics into that policy. And any policy whatsoever, any policy I put that it is not people friendly, it is not supposed to be a rigid document. It is open for review. The percentage of politicians we have in Nigeria is not up to 20% of the entire population.
But over 90% of the money are with them.
No, that's what I want to say. Let's admit, even the wealth of the world, the entire wealth of the world is controlled by less than 2% of the world population.
Yes.
So it's not new in this part of the world. But what I'm saying is this: the moment you brought in that conversation of you want to use it to cut vote buying, that means you've politicized that policy. That is where the whole conversation changed. I want to have a new note. I like the feel of the new note. I'm tired of holding a note and it's all smelling and stinking, and somebody's telling me, oh, they put sellotape on this money, I cannot collect it. So it's a beautiful idea when you can touch new notes, mints, like it's a new feeling that you have new currency. In short, some of us want to keep the old ones for reference purposes. So there's nothing wrong with that policy administratively, there's nothing wrong with it, but the politicization of this policy is what is even making governors of the same party that brought that. Just know that some people already have intentions to buy votes. So person is a candidate. Buhari has promised to give us a free and fair election. The policy is against the opponent of the party. Then the problem came. The Nigerians started looking at this policy and say, oh, maybe when the new Naira note came out in December, we were not complaining about and the days were counting.
And we were not moving.
The 100 days were counting. We're not making a problem. Now started when we started finding it difficult to get this money. If you say you want to mop, I understand the fact that Nigeria wants to run a cashless policy. Beautiful. People that literally feed from hand to mouth. People that have business where they employ 1 or 2 persons, they don't pay them from the bank. How would that person go cashless? I want to enter public transport. There's no public transport system in Nigeria here that can cover everywhere. That will say, okay, people still pay from their pockets to buy or to afford. You cannot go cashless in an economy that is almost dependent on small scale business. So when the countdown started coming, Nigeria started saying, there's problem. I still have this old note at home.
So let me say something about this matter.
Yes.
I don't want to lose sight of something fundamental, and the point is this: before the implementation, immediately the thing came to the public. The Minister of Finance
disowned it.
She
said they didn't carry them along.
She hardly speak in the public. It's a woman. She came out and said no, that she was not carried along and doubted. I think the sincerity
of that
and
policy.
The implementation of the policy, the paperwork presented to the president. The woman came out and said it. But once the man answered that he got the approval of the president, she kept quiet. Then I started, let's see how it works. So now you begin to see a kind of dichotomy between the fiscal policy managers and monetary policy managers. It's supposed to be seamless. They're supposed to work together. How many technical staff is in the payroll of CBN? And how many do we have in the Ministry of Finance? Do you get my point now? It's true that the CBN governor is directly under the purview of the president, right? But the minister also is minister. They're supposed to work together,
hand in hand.
Do you understand? But in a situation where a whole ministry, people that are supposed to contribute, if only advisory at advisory level, you understand? Because you affect one another, right? And
he's never aware of it.
Never aware and stayed aloof. So all the kind of technical support the CBN is supposed to get, do you understand? So they didn't give them. They kept quiet. Yes, you can say we want to change this thing. Do you understand? But you must take into consideration how can we get it done without affecting the fiscal policy of the country. They didn't get that one. Okay, so from day one,
the policy has
the question I asked actually earlier, thank you for all your contributions thus far. The question I actually asked was 100 days not enough to return 3 trillion to the bank. So the question I'm asking right now is, what actually leads, or what has led to this crisis? Is it because of inadequate new notes? Or is it because of the timeline?
Both of them. The first installment that was brought in at the new notes was less than 1 billion, according to what the CBN said. So when you are mopping out, or when you have the intention of mopping out about maybe 2 trillion, for instance, because after like 45 days or so, the CBN governor said they mopped out about 1.9 trillion. They brought those old notes back. So you're supposed to return pumping almost in the same measure that you are taking out. And whether you like it or not, there was so much uncertainty around the deadline of this policy. Nigerians were asking, you see, Nigerians should take some blame for all of this too. We like the whole rush hour thing. Even when we were supposed to register for PVC, it was beg. And all the registration points were empty until the deadline was approaching. Even PVC collection, they had to extend it 2 times. Distribution, the same thing. We have a rush hour approach, but this one was because it is money. So you go to the bank, you queue for 4 hours, and the ATM would give you 1,000 naira. It happened to Mr. Muiwa last week.
Sorry, please. I think I'm a bit wherever with this matter. Okay, you know what? Let's put this within a context that will allow you for the masses to understand. And the reason being that, please, let's trace the history of it. You have time frame for this.
For the exchange, for the change.
When this new naira was launched, for 4 weeks, no bank in Lagos
had it.
Do you understand? Had it whether on the counter or on the ATM. How would Nigeria get it? And let me quickly say this. CBN has been able to mop close to 3 trillion naira, and so far 200 billion has been released to circulation. From 3 trillion to 200 billion. Please see the margin. See the margin. So if has been a well thought out program, you evinced that you have over 3 trillion in circulation. People are bringing it money, right? And again, you said yourself, CBN, that 60% of Nigerians don't have access to banking facilities. 60% of Nigerian population. So meaning that a quick rush into digital exchange, right, might be slow. If 60% of the population don't have access to banks in my town, or call it village, it's a local government headquarters,
there's no bank,
no single bank.
Look, let me come and borrow you one of my own.
No problem. So that's that. But now, if we are talking of this cash, you understand? From you mop up over 3 trillion,
and you are pumping it 200 billion.
Pumped only 200 billion for a system for a 200 million people. Listen, go to some banks now. This week they've not had one new note, one single piece this week. That's why the workers were escaping through the fence. Also,
there's nothing to give to
the customers. They've closed down. But by the time the customer come to see you, and they with no money, they understand,
and they're angry.
They get angry and become violent. Do you know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is that any good intention Emefiele had in mind to do it, he has been political with it, and it's unfortunate for him that when you mix politics with this kind of a pure administrative policy matter, as you have said,
then politicians will come after you.
We are not coming after you. You are going to fail. You are going to fail, my brother. Politicians did not come after him the first day, the second week. The third day, do you understand? I'm telling you that it was the upper Saturday. I saw 5 when it was to be closed on Monday.
I saw 500.
I saw the 500 new note. I'm living in this Lagos. Do you understand? That I saw. Do you understand? So I didn't be the first day. No, the politician did not talk. I didn't be. You launched this thing today,
and you pump in this money into the system.
Immediately, the banks begin to respond by giving out new that thing will be seamless. But if you are reaching 2 trillion and you are giving out the one country 220 billion, please go and see the agonies of Nigerians.
Okay.
Go and see people sleep in bank
quickly
to collect their own money. No, so I think the man is a disgrace to this country.
They are not asking for loan. No.
It's a big. Emefiele is a disgrace to this country. A big one. Because even if Mr. President asks you to change it, you are in the position to advise him and professionally this is how it can be done.
Okay, now let's quickly, Ope. There is this something that baffled me. If you look at the return of the Fourth Republic, that maybe the first election, the Obasanjo election, Obasanjo Fale, right? Was that?
Only Fale.
That was the only time you didn't have tension. Now, Jonathan did well in his transition to Buhari. There was tension. Then the Buhari's second coming, the second tenure, there was also tension. People were predicting, oh, Nigeria was going to be like this, do like that. Though we survived. And today, coming to this place through the streets of Lagos, you can literally see the tension, fear, and the apprehension here. Be full of tension like this. Why?
Well, I think it's one of the characteristics of an imagined democracy. I know you don't like this statement, but that's just the reality of it. We are still in that stage where we can make our excuses and learn from it. As long as it doesn't cause the sovereignty of the states, we continue to put our heads together, bind ourselves together, and grow through our challenges. But again, the political awareness is growing by the day. Even in the numbers of people that are registered and collected PVC, every single year the number is growing. Maybe it is poverty that is pushing people to now start getting politically conscious. It's a different ball game. Maybe it is wanting to change the narrative. It's a different ball game. The key thing is that people are getting politically enlightened.
Yeah, is that because people are getting enlightened that we are having tension?
No, I'm coming. And then it's a system where there's so much attention put in on politicians. People think, oh, if I get into politics, I've made it in life. A win at all cost mentality. Then the sentiments that is driving our political decisions are also faulty. You don't vote people based on their credibility. You vote them because they speak your language. You don't vote people based on you think they can deliver. You vote them because you are practicing the same religion. You don't vote people because you think they can put the dividends of democracy on the table. You vote them because you are from the same political affiliation. And when you have this archaic mentality going into an election, there's chaos, there's trouble, because you feel like, if you don't win, we are losers. You're not losers in an election. It's a game.
Yeah.
President Muhammadu Buhari contested how many times before the alliance of 2015 and eventually became president. So if you don't win today, you only have the opportunity to learn how to do things a better way and come back the next time. So why we have this tensed environment is that we see politics as everything here. We have career politicians in this country. People that have been in politics for 30 years, 40 years, we keep recycling the same set of people. So there's this, it is either me or nobody.
Before we go for the news break, we talked about the character of the Nigerian politician. What we were talking about is they are product of the environment. Now, he has just mentioned a winner takes all syndrome. But the question I'm asking is this: the idea of the Nigerian politician that once you have bought this form for 100 million, for 50 million, in fact, you are a winner. Forgetting that about 10 of you bought that form
for the same
amount. And each of them have taken themselves as the president already. Is that not one reason that we have this tension?
I think you know what, losing in this part of the world, I think it may be our maturity.
It's an anathema.
Yes, you know, even the ordinary football match, right? Ordinary football.
The people playing it don't even know us.
I'm coming. You see, let me draw this analogy. Do you know that if you play good football in Europe and your club or your country is losing, they will still be clapping for you because that you did well, right? But we'll be charged Eagles that first half no goal.
In Lagos here.
Even not only in Lagos, let them go to South Africa or Cameroon. Do you understand? First half no goal. No. And then second half,
even the start of second half, they can still be calm.
Yes, but when the game, by the time when you get into 10 minutes at the end of the match, you understand? You begin to see, I think, how the game will change. I think
they'll start supporting the opponent and they will win.
Your people. No, that's our. Maybe that's our.
That's the character.
We are a character.
We must win.
Yeah, we must win.
Whether we like it or not,
We must win. We must win.
Okay, thank you Mira, for your contribution. Thank you because your contributions have been great today. It's time for news break. It's time for news break, which is just for about 60 seconds. And when we come back, we expect your call for contribution, and the studio number is 0913-6000410. That is 0913-6000410. When you do come back, please make a contribution to be brief and very, very decent.
Would you wait to go?
of Lagos. It's time to hear your contributions to the issues we have been discussing, which are fuel scarcity, naira scarcity as threats, or to the elections and the other things that will happen to ensure that we have a good election, the politicians and the democracy itself. So the line we are going to call is 0913 6000 then 410. I repeat, 0913 6000 410. Please make your contribution to be brief, 60 seconds, and your language should be very decent. Thank you. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, Emeka from First Tech.
Thank you, Emeka. You are welcome.
Yeah. I want to talk about the plans for the elections.
Okay.
You know, sometimes these politicians, they act as if they don't win us, they will die, or we all die. And the way they talk in their campaign, as if it's a war. You know, the 2015 general election was highly polarized. But the problem that followed it was that when Buhari came and appointed his cabinet, the Minister for Information continued that division by making it look like us versus them. In a country you want to rule, you start calling people rulers. You understand? This polarized the country deeper. And to make it worse, Buhari came and we're talking about 97.5%. This is not how to run a country. This is not how to build a country. That's why sometimes, to be fair to people, the way you talk in campaign brand, it will give me a hope of a bad. Listen to Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The way you talk, enemies will deal with these people, we send them away. This narrative, and you came and tell people that people are working against you. You understand? Politicians should learn to understand that it is their ambition. We are not asking them to come and reinvent the wheel, just to contribute their own quota, and they should play it as a game. If I don't win, I will try next time. If I win, I will unite everybody. This country belongs to everybody. Even if your brother become president and the country become worse as it is today, it will affect you irrespective of religion. You understand? People are still suffering. About 120 people died the other day from insurgents.
Okay, Mika, you have 5 seconds. I think you have made your point.
Yeah, so what I'm saying first is that let us learn to understand.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello. 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 Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine, Mr. Peter.
Mr. Peter, you're
Another
welcome.
good. I greet everybody.
You're welcome.
Mr. Peter, where are you calling from?
My name is Lawal Tatu for Sulere.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir. I'm not be tension. I'm going to be tension. The other day I listened to one program, a forward program on Sunday like that. They mentioned one thing that really shocked me concerning America that we brought this democracy from. Initially, not everybody that votes. There are two people who understand what democracy is all about to vote. Not everybody. After goes on everybody just fall online. Look at how now. People from rural area, people vote for different something that I don't even talking about. Reason. Whether you are talking like somebody we know this political party have done that. They are not really doing well. But as look at my trust, my brother was so in fact I don't know what to say. So these are the problem until thank you for this education chance to continue educating ourselves concerning this matter before we can anything can stop. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you very much, Taufik. Hello. Hello. You can also send your messages to the same number, that is 0913 6000 410. that if you are trying the line, you couldn't get it, send a message to it. 0913-6000410. Hello. Okay. So before the next line comes, the next caller comes, look at it this way. With all these hiccups here and there, can you place whose finger is on the chessboard?
Leadership is about responsibility, and when election is involved, somebody had to be responsible for that. I think we have a call.
Okay.
Hello. Good afternoon, my brother.
Good afternoon.
My name is Mr. Ndubusi from Ngondo.
Welcome, Ndubusi.
Yeah. Is it Mr. Okay?
Yes, we are with you.
We have said everything. We have said it all. Nigerian politicians are killing people because of the attraction in the offices. If political offices would be less attractive, we will see all these killings. You can imagine somebody buy a fund of 100 million naira. Presidential candidate to spend 5 billion naira. Do you think when they enter the office, they will not recoup that money? We must make sure we give the money back. That is why we are suffering. That is why people want to kill their fellow men because of that office. They take Nigerian policies as a business, very big business. That is what I see. Until we make political offices less attractive, my brother, it will even get worse than what we are seeing today. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Ndubusi. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, this is Oluwatosin.
You're welcome, madam.
Matthew Okodua Adeyemi. Good evening, no.
Good evening, madam. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm doing great.
Yes, thank you.
Like, I don't really have much contribution, but to just keep encouraging you guys to keep doing the good works.
Thank you very
Because
much.
when you cited the monarchical the monarchical system going on in UK being separated from government, I think we need that situation in Nigeria. When we see the chairman, senator, councillors, and we see them as public servants, not as our Lord and Master. Do you understand?
Yes.
Look, El Maktoum, El Nayem of UAE, they move freely among their people. And when I ask them, why are you so, no convoy, nothing. You know what they told me? They said, the people are my security. Can Buhari say that? Can Bola Ahmed say that? Can Atiku say that? And the rest of them, the people are their bitterest enemy. Look, we have to start from here now. Every entitlement sense that we and you we are having, let us limit it to infrastructure when we own it. But when it comes to systems and institutions in Nigeria, we don't need strong men. Good evening.
Thank you
Thank
very,
you very
much,
much, madam.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm great. And you?
Thank God.
Fine.
Okay, please, am I on to the radio program?
Yes.
Yes, you are.
All right. Can I start contributing my quota?
Yes,
Please,
go ahead.
your name and where you
Your
calling
name
from?
and yes.
My contribution
Your name
goes
first,
to
sir.
the...
Your name
What
first.
do you
sir.
say?
Your name.
Your name.
Okay. I am Emmanuel from Alapado area of Lagos, Alapoko to be precise.
Emmanuel.
Yes. Please, we still have very long way to go as far as Nigeria is concerned. The reason, one of the problems that we are having in this nation is the leadership. Not that they will not have performed. While I was still a younger child or a child growing up, I saw President president ruling as a young man. He was ruling as a young man, and he was doing very well then, and everybody loved him. Yes, good and fine. As a young brain, there is no how he will not have performed well then. At this point, I will not blame him. The man is an old man. There is no way you will expect him to perform as a young man again. His brain can no longer think well. I'm so sorry to make that statement. And when you have wrong advisors around you who are in there to eat from you, there is no way they will give him good advice on the right on how we will run the nation in the right way. If Nigeria will wake up from their slumber, putting the youth. There are young politicians in this country. Why are we blocking them? Why are we stopping them from trying their luck on the presidential seat? Let young brain come in there and then let us see what will happen next in this nation. We are tired of today's problem, if not fuel problem. Look at what is going on now. So many families are going through a lot of things that we can't explain because of change of Naira notes. There would have been a more better way to go about this thing. There would have been a more better way to go about this thing. And if the nation continue this way, it may end up in serious crisis.
Yeah,
thank you.
so
sorry to say.
Yes, thank you for your
Manu.
contributions.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Hello. Hello.
Good evening, my extended family in the studio.
Good evening, sir.
God bless you, Mr. Kodia.
Thank you, sir.
And others. My name is Prince Wise. Greeting all of you in the studio.
Thank you, Prince Wise.
God bless you too. You see, if somebody wants to see who is policing Nigeria today, I would actually point my finger to me feeling. Because at the command now today is the Attorney General. Now, you collect more than 3 trillion for the people. My money, your money, our money. And you bring out around 300 billion and go to the bank and get the money to withdraw from counter, from ATM, and somebody is telling us that this policy. The European country that we copy, did they behave this way? If we want to, because of 2 or 3 or 4 politicians, I want to punish the whole Nigeria. Mr. President has to listen to the yearning of the people. We are crying, we are shouting. Hungry man is an angry man. They are people in the blogger that spoke now. Why should Mr. Attorney General want to challenge that of Supreme Court? If our Mr. President, they have gone telling Mr. White, vocal to the nation, that this is a policy, and we extend it up to 3 or 4 or 6 months. I want to see for incoming government. He want to create a legacy that will give you badness. I think forgot it. People are not talking bad of his name now. That is for Mr. President. If somebody advance you, and that advice doesn't go down with the masses, why are you not taking that bad advice? My people, please, I want all of you to talk direct to the channel. As we talk today, I'm very happy for what all of you have been saying. For the past 1 hour, we have tried. I went to my bank yesterday. I can't be able to withdraw. And I need money. I have to borrow money for food for my family. What type of policy is that?
Thank you, Prince. Thank you. Thank you. You have made your point. Yes. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
And my masters. Good evening.
Well done.
You see, my name is Chief Ugochukwu.
Welcome, Chief Ugochukwu.
Yeah. You see, God bless Nigeria with intelligent people. Nigerians are so intelligent, more especially in talking. But when it comes to provide solutions, I don't know. Nigeria don't have people that can provide solutions. That is one of our problems. We know how to identify all the problems, pinpoint them, identify, provide solutions. No, because I said it because I remember when I was watching one program, Politics and Rule of Law, of Ruben Akpati, one to the Chris or whatever, they are about 5. If you hear them talking that time, you say, people are safe. When they get there, eventually, Jonathan appoint
Ruben Abati.
Ruben Akpati. What happened? What happened? Now he has started talking again. No, it's not by talking. It's not by talking. It's by providing solutions. How will we tackle this problem? It's not about Buhari. Like the second to recall I said, Buhari was a fine leader 1984 to 86. You know, talk about fighting corruption and against discipline and the Nigeria began to move in the right direction. That is when the man won my heart up to today. And let me just say it. I'm a supporter of Buhari 105% up to today. Everybody knows me, but I'm not a member of PDP. Now, providing solution is the key.
Chief Ugochukwu, you have 10 seconds.
Nigerians will frustrate anybody that will get it. Look, by the grace of God, Peter Obi gets there. Let me tell you the truth. Nigerians will frustrate him because they don't want him to do the Nigerians will begin to call him a good man. No, they will frustrate him.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good evening.
How are you? Good evening.
Yes, good evening. You are welcome.
My name is Ibrahimola from Ajuwon.
You're welcome.
You know this, we must find solutions to all our problems beyond that which is earthly. Solution lies in the spiritual. Human beings have lost their way into that which is their inner voice, the spiritual function of the human spirit. We are not listening to it anymore. Conscience is lost. Sense of shame is no more there. Let every individual, on the day they are going to vote, listen to their inner voice. The inner man, the spirit of man, will not deceive anybody because it has to do with the light. When I say light, I mean the Almighty Father. We must listen to our inner voice, the spiritual volition in man, and not do the wrong thing. But intellectually, human beings continue to do the wrong thing and not listen to their inner voice, the voice of the spirit. That part of man which is immortal. We must begin to listen to our inner voice. We have conscience, sense of shame to do the correct thing.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Ayola. Thank you.
Hello. Hello. Yeah, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I mean the focus is without the election we hope because of the.
Can we know your name, sir?
The scarcity of money and for. I believe that.
You've not told us your name.
Your name, sir?
Okay, my name is Steve. I'm calling from Ogun State.
Jude from Ogun State. Okay.
But for the way that look at it on ground right now, I think things are beginning to change. But I just believe that the way it's going now it will get better. But if between now to the 15th of this month, I'm looking at the change. I believe that's going to postpone the election. But our prayer is that make the election of the postponed and let the peace of God reign. Let everyone get ready and get her to the time to go and vote. I believe 30 good is coming out of this everything. So God bless you.
Thank God bless you too. Thank you.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Good evening.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This is Afolabi Razak.
You're welcome.
Welcome, welcome Razak. Yes,
Yeah. So my contribution is that concerning the election, I'm very sure and I have faith in Allah that this election will be free, fair, and it will be credible one. Because that is a characteristic of African democracy. In Kenya, about 11 years ago, the election between Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta, the people of Kenya, they were in panic. But at the end of the day, it was peaceful. This time around, between Rio and the other Raila Odinga, so almost the same thing. And at the end of the day,
It was
the
peaceful.
election was credible and fair. So concerning the
Oh,
Hello, Afolabi.
have we lost that?
Oh.
Hello. Hello. Last caller.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm calling you from Shaga area.
What's
Okay, you're
what's the
welcome,
name
Joshua.
again?
Joshua.
Okay.
All right. I heard your caller that said that Nigerians should think of their inner mind. We don't have inner mind again in Nigeria. They have sold, everybody has sold his conscience and inner mind to Satan and money. So we don't have inner mind again. We are no more thinking. One food and money, that is all. So that is just my own take. The man motivated me to call. That's why I called.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You are doing a great job.
Thank you.
Hello.
All right.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Sir? Yes, sir. I don't want to call him, but based on what people have been saying,
Your name, sir.
solution is what we are advocating.
Your name, sir.
Okuslo John from Gasline area of Masogu.
Okay.
Yes. I want MFCA now to take a decision fast. Let them flood the ATM with 200, 100, and 50 naira, up to 20 naira and 10 naira. I can tell you the next 2 weeks, everywhere will be peaceful.
Yes.
But if you stay, because the problem was, he brought out 1,500, which he said he will not bring before. That 200 naira will be only dispensed in the ATM. But to our surprise, it was 1,500 that were coming out, and just one of your member and guest there said, it was just few days that I myself saw 500 inside bus. So the mistake has been done, but the solution now, as my chief said, solution is let them flood the market with 200 the ATM banks with 200, 100 naira, 50 naira.
The tension will die down.
Yes, fast. They will not be able to hold it.
Thank you.
The BTS or whatever, all those people, the machines, everything. Even in the rural area, let them flood it. But if the decision said they have to print more 500, 1,000, they will still hold it.
Thank you very much.
Even after the election, you will not see it. But it's 200 down. It will even reduce the economy. It will make the naira to gain strength. It will make.
Thank you very much. Okay. That was our last caller. We're going to take that. So your parting words.
Well, we just have to stay peaceful, stay calm, and this message is going out to everyone that is destroying and out of anger, destroying banks, facilities, and all of that. It's not going to help us. Like the last caller said,
Yeah, just as you said, if you go and break the banks,
he doesn't give you money. You are just going to struggle.
Let's open our eyes.
Hey, person when they cry, they see road.
Otherwise, you fall into a bigger ditch. So that's where we draw the curtain for today. Tomorrow, Situation Room is back at 4 p.m. Where we'll be here to handle that. Then on Sunday, well, before that in the morning, we have Trends in the Papers and Mainland Focus. These are the programs you have to listen to, and in fact, there are opportunities for you to make your own contributions from 7:30 tomorrow We have Trent in the papers, followed by Mainland Focus. And then on Sunday, we have Political Roundtable at
6
6 p.m. That runs for 2 hours, and enough of politics is discussed. So please always stay with us in our programs. These and many more are meant to give. And okay, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Muyiwa, thank you for being here too, though he has left. So see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. on another edition of Situation Room.